there's some hope.
Ah, the castle. This tells me that your tavern will be a part of Loch Dyden. It's your fault that I can't pay my tab, you know? I wasn't ever supposed to come back here in the first place. I've spent the last 20 years knowing what fate had in store for me. And then you... Damn it. I thought I had my life figured out. I know. It's just... I wasn't always the man I am now. In my youth, I was quite the warrior. I fought beasts the size of trees, was celebrated by mortals and fae alike. When I was initiated into the Fate Weavers, I thought it was a reward for my good deeds. The first time I saw my own fate, I realized it was nothing but a curse. My own death, of course. But not a hero's death as I had always dreamed. I was going to die alone and unknown, killed by an Etin and used for stew. It was a terrible end, but I knew it was part of fate's greater plan. Then you came and changed that future. You stole my part in the tapestry. I was at peace with knowing the worst. But what do I do now that there's nothing to know? You're right. My glory days don't have to be over, and as long as I'm around you, I don't know how my story will end. That means I've got to make sure you stay around in one piece. Maybe this old trinket from my youth will help. After all, I don't just owe you my life. I owe you my future. Why, I once tracked the Yeth of Avgrun on a moonless night by smell alone. Fey or not, I could have tracked those Tuatha sober. They've set up in a cavern north of town, complete with some way of scrying your location. That's how they found you so easily. I have a plan, but it'll take the both of us to work. These soldiers were sent out with one purpose: finding you and making sure you stay dead. Everything else, the Well, Arden, Hughes, have all been collateral damage. They're using something big to track you. They call it the Eyes of Tirnoch. Smash it, and they won't be following you anymore. The main entrance is heavily guarded and will require a strong attack. The other route is trapped. It'll need a subtler approach. Straightforward and direct. A warrior after my own heart. I'll cover the back and make sure they can't escape to report back to whoever sent them here. Let's track down some trouble.
Hope they fared well up north in the mission.
This is the front entrance. You'll face their strongest guards, so it's no place for subtlety. Find their scrying mirror and smash it. I'll slip in the back and make sure none of them escape. I don't have an answer for that. I can't imagine what about you made Gadflow send his troops across the continent. His army is locked in a siege in Cluricon, but small groups sometimes make their way to Erithal. I don't think they've ever been this far inland. Good luck. I'll see you inside.
Can you tell me the difference between a creature? We children of nature know our roles. Meek and mighty. Prey and predators. Life and death. All serve the cycle. You children of dust do not know your place. You come into our land. You come to face your hunters. And you don't know when to die. You shall learn. In time, all mortals will know the might of Gadflow. Blessed herald of the merciful Tyrnok. All mortals end. Even if some are more persistent than others.
At least the Tuatha won't be able to track you so easily now. But it looks like you've got the personal attention of their king, Gadflow. If you were anyone else, I'd suggest you start running and not stop for a few years. But you might just have a chance. You're doing well, so far. You've blinded them here, and they haven't killed you yet. And much as I hate to say it, you'll need to take Aelin Shear up on her offer of help. The Codex of Destiny should hold some answers for you. For all I know, you've already met her in the House of Ballads. But it sounds like she's the only lead now. We should be able to get out this way.
Seen the job board?
no farther, mortal. You are not one of our kind, and the seat of Sir Sagrel will never be occupied by one so mundane. Hallam the White prepares the contest, and he must not be interrupted at this our time of greatest need. Goodbye.
Listen, all of you. As you've clearly heard, a rare vacancy...
Glynel, I assure you it's an ancient codex, just like in the tales.
Intriguing. And why would such... Welcome to the Summer Sanctuary, where the seeds of knowledge are... I see you are a stranger and a mortal. I am Green. And I possess the healer's warmth. Do you have need of my services? Have you been injured in your mortal... Farewell, fragile one. You must be Lady Shear's friend. He speaks very highly of you. An occasion rare enough to be worth recording in its own right. But let's see this codex. The fabled Codex of Destiny. When the Fate Weavers formed their order, our High King gave his own wisdom to assist them. To have such knowledge in your hands is a tremendous gift. But why did it reveal itself to you? Nonsense. All children of dust have a story that is written before you see your first dawn. Now, I can only make out some parts, but this is odd. The Codex speaks of an exception, a void, an end to the endless. This is simply too much. The High King would never pawn such absurdity off as wisdom. I'm sure you think it is. I fear you must have been taken in by a forgery. A perfectly created one, perhaps, but a forgery nonetheless. But this codex speaks of impossible things, changes to fate, death of the immortals, and other heresies. To ascribe these lies to the High King would be... I'm sorry, but I must ask you to take it away. I will have no part in these lies. Is there a meaning to it? Only its author could tell you. Do not bother me with such foolishness again.
Lionel spends his life cherishing old stories, but show him something truly new, and he dismisses it. Tragic. First of all, we ignore this fool. Most Fae aren't comfortable with change, and you are certainly something new. I'm afraid that only one person will really be able to help us with the Codex. The High King himself. It will be difficult. His court is in the city of Issa. Very few mortals are permitted in its gardens. I do know one individual who can grant you permission to enter, but you'll have to meet him alone. Nerulem is a private person, and he carries a grudge against me, although perhaps person isn't the right word for him, nor is him. You'll find him in southeast Dalantoth, at Caer Nerulem. Just head towards the giant tree, and, well, you'll see. You'll have to meet him on your own. I'd accompany you, but Nerulem and I have our disagreements. Good luck with Nerulem, and ignore anything he says about me.
Mundane don't belong in Fey houses.
This does not concern you, mortal. You would not, could not, understand. One of our most beloved heroes has fallen. Sir Sagrel's passing leaves his legend in peril. A seat in the House of Ballads cannot remain empty, lest the great stories end. And that must never happen. You are bold, but that is not how tales are told in the House of Ballads. Only a worthy Fey hero may finish his quest, complete his story. However, these are strange times. Magic weaves itself in new patterns and change. It is the one thing with which we Fey have no experience. If you so choose, join the other pledges. You too may attempt to defeat the Grey Thresh, recover Sagral's ring, and take his seat in the House of Ballads. Go now, and make the song your own.
Why is there a mortal here?
I should not be seen talking to you. It isn't good for my reputation. Goodbye.